You hear critical thinking all the time. You've probably been told a million times to think critically about something you've just done, read, or seen. But what does that really mean? How exactly do you think critically? You may already know that critical thinking is not the automatic everyday thinking we normally do, like deciding between toast and oatmeal in the morning. Thinking critically is all about taking the time to dive deeper into a topic or situation in order to better understand it. The deeper our understanding of something, the more informed our choices and opinions will be. Thinking critically means better decisions, so let's go over a few techniques we can use to become better critical thinkers. Analyze. Analyzing is purposely taking in information and breaking it down to gain a better understanding of a concept or situation. For example, let's say you get an invite to your cousin's wedding and you need to decide what to wear. You look at the invitation to get more information about the event. It's in July at 2 o'clock in Dallas, Texas, on the picnic grounds at a local park. Taking a closer look at the information, or in other words, analyzing it, gives us a deeper and better understanding of the situation we're facing. Which leads us to our next critical thinking strategy. Synthesize. Synthesizing is connecting multiple pieces of information to form a new conclusion. It takes analyzing to the next level by making the information you've gathered meaningful. So let's take a closer look at our invitation to see what clues we can put together from the information we have. We can see the wedding is in July, in the middle of the afternoon. It's going to be outside and it will be in Dallas, Texas. By putting together or synthesizing multiple pieces of information, in this case, the time of year, the time of day, and location, we can draw a new conclusion that will lead to a better decision. Taking the time to synthesize the information we have gives us the opportunity to go from our original idea to a better one. Even if your first thought seems like a good idea, it may not be the best one. Not taking the time to think critically before you make a decision is how you end up dancing in a wool suit in the middle of summer. Now that you're headed in the right direction, you'll want to refine your thinking a bit more and decide on some details. To do this, we'll need to utilize the next critical thinking strategy. Conceptualize. Conceptualizing involves bringing new ideas to life and using the information we have to come up with something new. You can conceptualize by using your imagination, building a model through writing or sketching, or any other way you can think of. Let's do some conceptualizing to help us finish deciding what to wear to the wedding. Conceptualizing isn't difficult. In fact, we've already done some when we imagined what dancing in the summer sun would be like in a suit. In this case, we used our imaginations to consider how a scenario would play out in the real world. We're going to do the same exercise to help us figure out the best shoes to go with what we're wearing. So let's do what we did before and imagine what it's going to be like at the wedding. Use your imagination to fill in as many details as you can think of. Your family loves to dance, so you know you'll spend most of the day on your feet, which means comfortable shoes are a must. The wedding is also in a park, so it's probably okay to be a little casual. But you also have to take family photos, and your grandmother would kill you if you showed up to your cousin's wedding in an old pair of sneakers. Taking time to conceptualize gave us a better idea of the circumstances we would be in and showed us a potential problem. Now we can take what we learned from conceptualizing and narrow down our choices to something that is both comfy and grandma approved. Now that we've decided on a look, we want to double check that we didn't miss anything, which takes us to the final critical thinking strategy. Evaluate. Evaluating is essentially double checking, and it can be done at every stage of the critical thinking process. It is about both making sure your thinking is correct and that the sources of information you're relying on are accurate and trustworthy. Actually, evaluating the sources of information you're analyzing should always be the first step of your critical thinking process. You can't make good decisions with bad information, so it's important to double check that all your info can be trusted. Good information comes from sources you can trust, and the creator should have some expertise in the subject. In this case, our info comes straight from the source, so we know it's good. Next, we want to evaluate our thinking to make sure we haven't overlooked anything. So let's go back over our thinking and make sure we haven't missed anything. The clothes work for a hot summer day. They are appropriate for the occasion. They will look good in family photos and pass the grandma test, so it looks like we're all set. Evaluating is also something you can do after you've made a decision or completed a project to learn lessons that will improve your performance in the future. So let's recap. Whether it's something big or small, taking the time to be thoughtful and think critically will lead to better results. So the next time you approach a problem, you want to make sure you take the time to analyze and evaluate the information in front of you to gain a better understanding of a problem or situation. Synthesize your data to make connections and form new and better conclusions. Conceptualize your thinking so you can test out your ideas and surface potential problems. Then evaluate your process and thinking to double check that you haven't missed anything. Because why spend life regretting decisions you didn't take the time to think through?